Howdly doodly, every pony. We're back to the slaughtering. It is 1 o'clock in the morning where I am. It is 10 o'clock in the morning where Soul Strings is, and we have Francis Vace with us today. Oh, 9 a.m. Daylight Savings. So it is also, we have a guest with us. It is Francis Vace, the one, the only, the Oat Man himself. And we're going to be going over his new album. And so time zones, yes, thanks. Time zones are a little bit goofy, trying to get that one figured out. So we've got Soul Strings on the camera there. It looks a little goofy, so I'm going to have to edit some things real quick. Because, like I said, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have my coffee here. We're going to be getting this figured out. Okay, so this is the album we'll be going over. It's called Fading by Francis Vace. We're pretty excited about it, or at least I am. I think it's pretty neat. I'm pretty sure we heard a track from it. I'm pretty sure we listened to Oats Part 2, and we were impressed, if I remember correctly.
You've heard Eternal as well.
Okay, yes, so we've heard more than one. I think we'll get this lined up, and then I'm going to have to fix Soul String's face. He's so small. Why? The window is so small. And I don't want it to be small. Oh, and that will... Oh, because there's 4 of us. That's why. There's usually 3 of us. That would be why. Okay. There it is. It was disabled, yeah. Okay, you have a crazy sound in the background now.
Yeah, I do. I can't do anything about it. Sorry.
Oh, excellent. That's so good. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, we have everything lined up, I think. Except for Soul Strings. This camera being except for this the camera being cropped weird like that is going to just trigger the ever-loving shit out of me. But we'll be going back to the normal, just me and Soul Strings next week, I guess, so I'm just not going to fuck with it. You've just got big black bars around your camera, but everybody can see you. No, just down below and on the sides. Anyway, I think I have these windows all figured out. We're good to go. I just realized that you two were muted this whole fucking time.
Really?
Kill me. Yes. I could hear you, but the stream could not hear them. Okay. So this is 3 nightmarish minutes trying to get this shit figured out, but we are on the way. Okay. So, let us check out this album. Let me introduce you again since you're not muted. This is Francis Vace himself. We're checking out his album, Fading. Introduce yourself, Francis Vace.
Hello, it's me, Francis Vace. I made this album.
Nice. Do you have an instrument of choice?
Yeah. I would say bass. I play guitar enough to get these songs recorded, but that's kind of about it. Whereas I like playing bass, and in the band I'm in, I'm the bass player of that band. So
is that when you say the bass player of the band, that's like a local Australian band?
Yeah.
Sweet. So
that's cultural.
Yeah. Okay. So let us go into the first song here. This song is Francis Vace and TCB. Do you know what TCB stands for?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Was
what
that a
TCB.
rhetorical question, or would you like to know?
Yeah, I have no idea what TCB stands for, so yeah, I would like to know.
It's the closet brony.
The Closet Brony. Okay, I
Yep.
gotcha. All right, so we have the Closet Brony and Francis Vace, Stay Forever. This is the intro track. Let's check it out.
I need you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, not sleepy-eyed and scaly-tailed, which is exactly what you are. But get up anyway! You can't hibernate! Oh, what about all the primo things we're gonna do together this winter? Building snow ponies, starting snowball fights, sipping hot cider by the fire.
It's so it's so goofy to me that I almost can't tell the difference between samples and that 15 AI crap. The whole time I was sitting here thinking like, oh, well, that's interesting. But no, I think this is sampled from the episode with the tank thing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So, this kind of like first bit here is, like it's kind of a meme that like Midwest emo bands have these like long, very kind of like sparkly guitar intros with like just some super melodramatic like voice clip over the top of it.
Yeah.
And I just thought it would be really funny to do that, but with Rainbow Dash freaking out about Tank. That's kind of what we've got here.
I like it. That's a good meme. That's good. All right.
Don't you wanna do those things with me? Think, Dash, think. Tank's only hibernating because it's cold, right? Well, I'd rather have him hibernate in the heat than asleep in the cold. I'll just have to stop winter! Have to say goodbye. Have to say goodbye. You can stay forever. Have to say goodbye. Have to say goodbye. You can stay forever.
That was interesting how it transitioned from the spoken samples into the singing samples, and it just worked really, really well. It just kind of flowed one into the other, and it was a seamless transition. That was very, very good. And
That was weird though. Like I'm familiar with like this particular like last sample because it was used in one of the TCB songs from previous Ponceon albums.
yeah,
I forgot the name of the track. And it sounded in a different key, so I cannot get used to the fact that it sounds here in a different key. So like, it feels a little bit odd because like like as if it's out of key, but like it's just playing like kind of weirdish notes in relation to the chord progression of this particular song. So like, it feels a little bit odd to me because I'm used to a different a different key where that particular sample was used in. So this is kind of new to me, and it's confusing. I'm confused, honestly. Like, okay, that's the TCB. I will blame TCB on that. Okay.
all right. So TCB is to blame for that one, for the criticism of this one. I think it was good though. It did feel like one of those Midwestern emo songs. It was neat. It was a good. It is a good meme, and I think it was a overall cool sound design with the punchy drums and the sparkly guitars. I know the samples in the second half sounded familiar. Right. Do you have?
Because I
Go ahead.
no, I was, so I reached out to TCB because he was, he was just like talking about like people remixing his stuff, and I was like, hey, send me some stuff, and I'll do something with it. And so he sent me these stems, which is from one of Forever Is Nothing or Nothing Is Forever. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but he's got two that uses very similar kind of samples and stuff. And then I had it for quite a while, and I was trying to do something with it, and I had this kind of section that I thought was cool, and that's the kind of the part you heard there, and I just couldn't make anything. Like, I couldn't make a song around it. I couldn't work out what else would go with it. And then like I had that other idea for that intro, and I kind of just clicked, and I was like, okay, I need to find some like Rainbow Dash melodrama, and then we can kind of put these two things together, make like a really cool intro song, I think.
Right. And it's an interesting choice, because I feel like Rainbow Dash is an interesting character to try to find some melodrama. I would, I guess some really good melodrama is pretty hard to come by, but yeah, it's good. It's good. I guess unrelated to the album, do you have like a favorite episode or whatever of the My Little Pony show?
A single favorite episode is probably going to be hard to pick out. I'm a huge fan of like just Pinkie Pie being goofy episodes.
Yeah.
I love that horse. I really liked the first episode that we got like a proper look at Luna, because she was a really cool character in season 1, but she kind of was there and then just kind of like disappeared. And so I really enjoyed it when like we get a chance to actually spend some time with her. So like that Halloween episode, and then I mean pretty much any episode she's been in from there on, I've enjoyed.
True.
The one episode that everybody talks about that has Luna in it that I have never seen was the one where I think Celestia and Luna go on like vacation or some shit like that, or something. I can't remember. I just remember Hawaiian shirts and going to the post office or something like that. That's all I've gathered from the memes, but I've never actually watched that episode.
Yeah, I feel like that one might have slipped through the cracks for me as well, because I have like, again, memories of that, like the visuals, but I don't really remember the episode at least.
Someone recently, like yesterday, pointed out on Twitter that it's been like 2 years since G4 ended, so time flies.
What a wild ride.
It's actually kind of crazy to think it's only been 2 years. To me, it just seems like that's wild. I feel like it's been way, way longer than that. But
2 decades.
Yeah, true. But then again, I haven't watched this show since like season 7. I have gathered everything that happened after season 7. Everything I've gathered about what happens about the Students 7 or whatever the fuck. All of that I gathered from memes on Twitter. Like I haven't actually watched anything at all after that.
There are some episodes in there that I think are worth watching, but I'm not sure if I would ever like go through and watch the entirety of those later seasons anymore.
Oh, right. Well, good. Are you with the hashtag Save MLP crowd?
Well, no. I don't think it's anything that particularly needs saving, and I think if they were to do what the Save MLP crowd is suggesting, it would just be like worse than what already exists.
True. That's probably true. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the next song. This song is called Eternal. We're listening to Fading, an album by Francis Vace. Let's check it out.
Hold on. You can open it in UTAP and see the separate artwork for this particular track.
Oh.
I know we've seen it before, like when watching the YouTube video, but like it has it on Bandcamp and separate tracks uploaded.
Oh, neat. That shit is so cool. I do think the art direction is really, really awesome. With all of the different this kind of messy. It looks like ballpoint ink, like ballpoint pen ink, and then it looks like it's been painted over with watercolor. If am I in the ballpark?
I'm assuming here as well. I think so.
Oh, okay.
Like the idea behind the art for this was, like when some like image generating AIs were kind of doing some big stuff on Twitter. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make these image generating AIs draw some horses for me. And some of the stuff they drew was really interesting. I was like, oh, this would make a good album cover, but I just don't know about like the legality of using AI generated art. So I spoke to a person I knew, and I was like, hey, can you take a bunch of these like kind of reference images that I've got from AI and like make some album art for me? And I want it to look like kind of watercolory and kind of, you know, a bit abstract, like a lot of like shapes that you can kind of like see, you know, maybe that's part of a horse or something like that, but like not clearly see it.
Right.
And then she sent me a folder a couple of months later with like just a bunch of these images, and I was like, okay, well, I had only really thought about what I would do with one, but you sent me so many, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna use all of these as single art if you're cool with me using them all, and she was, so.
That's awesome.
That's a good idea.
See, I'm greedy. I would have used each one and just had been like, okay, this is my brand now.
Yeah.
All right, so this is
logo.
Eternal by Francis Vace. Let's go.
I'm not sure if everything will be okay. I just have to make it through today. It's only a rough patch to get through. Just another.
I do want to note that there is a severe lack of pig squeals and blast beats, so this is basically unlistenable garbage, but we will lower our standards in order to listen to the rest of the song. Okay, chat? Thanks.
I'll try to do better next time.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'll try to do better next time. I'm sorry.
Right. All you need is pig squeals, blast beats, also huge gaps of silence before you jump into the next beat, that kind of thing. Also, you have to intro every single song with just guitar feedback and bat pony noises, like yeah, that kind of stuff.
Pony noises? Wait, did you just say pony noises?
I said bat pony noises.
Oh, bat pony noises.
Yeah,
okay.
bat ponies. Yeah, anyway, let's keep her going.
Felt this way before. I think I felt this way before. Am I pulling at the thread? I think I'm pulling at the thread inside my head. Forever means nothing to me without you here. But nothing is forever. Death and things we fear. Forever is nothing you say. Let's do the length that way. But nothing is forever. So they speculate.
I do really enjoy these drum samples. Where did you get? Because they just sound so natural to me. Like they sound like your typical punk rock sound. It's not this robotic crap that you would get from the domestic plug-in from like Ableton or any of the bullshit that you get from Fruity Loops or whatever. What is this sample pack you have going on?
It's Addictive Drums 2.
Oh, okay.
And I would have to pull up the project to remember like which particular like set of samples from within that I was using, but yeah, just Addictive Drums 2. And then I think like one of the things that for me made my drums sound a lot better was learning to actually like lean on the MIDI that they have, because like there's so much nuance in like playing drums, and if I was programming it in by hand, it would always sound either robotic, or if I added a little bit of randomization to it, it would sound like it was like there was no feel in the randomization. It was just completely random.
Yeah.
So what I've started doing, well, what I did originally was just using the MIDI straight up. But what I've been doing more recently is I start from a base of like a kind of pre-recorded MIDI, and I'll just kind of move things relative to each other. So I'm not moving things onto any grid marks, but just kind of taking what's there and shifting it into something that works better for what I'm doing.
Oh, that's very interesting. The one thing that I've always really enjoyed about your music specifically, Francis Vace songs always have very good drum samples. I agree. Even the oh my God, what's the project with Quicksilver?
Lunatics?
Tuna Licks.
Yes,
Well,
Tuna
yeah,
Licks.
that too.
So Tuna Licks or Lunatics, that's always good stuff. Even
Yeah,
those samples
that-
were really good too. I think it's the same thing, Addictive Drums too.
Yeah, almost all of the production for Lunatics is done by Quicksilver. And I'm pretty sure that he also uses the Addictive Drums too.
Yeah. So that's good. What I was gonna say is something that I always really loved about Francis Vace songs and like the style with which you record music is that it comes off as very messy and natural, but it's also ultra tight. Like it all feels deliberate. It's messy. It's actually not unlike the album art itself. This kind of, it is the general idea of a horse. You can definitely tell it's a horse, but it's all on purpose. That's why I think the album art complements the music so well, is because it feels really tight while also being deliberately messy in a way that feels natural. Which is, it's quite impressive to me, but that's just me, a man of contradictions, as my therapist said. Anyway,
All right.
so let's keep her going.
Honestly, like,
I'm sorry, you were gonna say something?
yeah, like today I learned that you don't make drums, that you don't write drums yourself, and for the most part you use the MIDIs from Addictive Drums. So like I always thought that you were always programming those like tiny details and like flamps and rim shots and all that stuff and like drum fills all by yourselves. So this is kind of new to me, because like I was always like, wow, this dude knows his stuff. Like he knows what he's doing. So like this is impressive. And I'm like just okay. No. I'm not disappointed to a point of deleting your music from my hard drive, but like this is still a little bit like damn. And I thought like, okay, this is still cool. This is still great, because like it still takes like skill and taste to take something that is already pre-made and making it into something new and make it work for your own creations and music and stuff. So it still requires a certain creativity and like creative way of thinking to arrange something that already exists and what already has been made. So yeah, it's still cool. It's still cool. It's still cool. I'm just like, today I learned.
Yeah, I think that like for this album, it's probably the most I have kind of rearranged the MIDI. Like I think that like for previous ones, I've kind of just like taken what exists and just used it as it was. But for this style of music, there's a lot more kind of syncopation and off the beat kind of stuff going on, and I needed to like you couldn't just like take any old like off the rack MIDI file and put it underneath that and have it work. So
Right.
like definitely like the most I've doctored the files is for this particular album. But yeah,
That is
I don't know.
pretty
Like
cool, though.
I had
It's like
I had a bit
Franken
of-
drums, you know. You're taking like different parts together and putting it in and making it into your own beat, but you're using pre-made things and kind of copy pasting, chopping them together. Is that my understanding correctly?
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I think that's fucking cool.
Or
I've never
the-
thought of that.
Yeah, or I guess you could kind of like I am like moving MIDI notes around, but what I try and do is like move them by like whole beats, so that if it's like a little bit before the beat in like the way it's recorded, when I move it, it'll still be like before the beat,
Right.
so that I'm keeping a lot of the feel that original drummer had when they kind of played these when they laid down the MIDI tracks.
Yeah.
Because like I think like that kind of that slightly off the beatness of it is why it feels like kind of organic and not robotic. So you kind of need to keep that around. But for this album, like there was a lot of stuff that just like I needed to have like specific hits and specific parts for the like drums and the guitars and the vocals to kind of all be doing their thing together. So that it required a lot more doctoring than normal.
Okay. Variety Music in chat says, "Hey, yay, 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 what's going on?" Or whatever the fuck. Anyway,
Yeah, that was close enough.
let's keep her going. We're listening to Eternal. Let's keep her going.
I'm okay, even if it feels like I'm not. I'll pretend that nothing's going wrong. I'm okay, not okay. It's all the same in the end. Forever is waiting just around the bend. Have I felt this way before? I think I felt this way before. Am I pulling at the thread? I think I'm pulling at the thread inside my head.
Was that bridge set to be dry like that in the original, in the first one? It
I don't-
sounded different. Did you do the lyrics different in the first bridge than you did on this one?
I
Or is
don't
it the same?
think I did anything different. I didn't intend to do anything different between the bridges, I don't think.
Okay. When it switched to the bridge, it sounded more dry. What's up with the late night stream, US time, of course, because Francis Vace is in Australia and Soul Strings is over there.
Australia is just British Texas.
Yes, British Texas, and So then we're trying to coordinate all over the whole freaking planet. Basically, we have basically just on all of the major continents. We've got all that figured out here. Okay, so interesting. Okay. Maybe I was just not paying attention before, but when it goes to the bridge, it sounds more dry, almost like a pass filter or something like that. And it was an interesting choice, and I had just now picked it up, and I was wondering if it was taking place before. Okay, so let's keep her going.
I mean, there's a lot more space in like the guitars and the bass and stuff like that, but then also there's like a distortion on the vocals in the two bridges.
Okay.
So that's probably where part of that's coming from.
Okay. All right, let's get her done.
Forever means nothing to me without you here. But nothing is forever except the things we fear. Forever is nothing you say. Let's do the length that way. But nothing is forever.
That was a good abrupt ending. You don't get that very often. Nice and succinct, but yeah. I don't think I have anything more to say about this track than I hadn't already said, but I did just notice. Did you do this meme on purpose? Did you release it on 2/22/2022?
Absolutely, I did.
Okay.
I had to like delay it a little bit to get it to work, and then I like spent a little while just kind of like trying to look at Bandcamp to see if it used like local time zone or like some other time zone, like to count when things were released. I had to like make. In the end, I was like, I can't work it out for sure, so I'm just gonna like find like the exact hour where almost everywhere around the world is
In the same day.
22 of
That's
Feb,
awesome.
and I'll release it then.
Like, if I recall correctly, you planned to release it on 2nd of February originally, and then delayed it like 20 days later to make it like
Yeah.
22/22, because like of some difficulties or some other production issues or whatever.
Yeah, I had initially wanted to release it on the 2nd, and yeah, you're right. I just like ran into some issues that just kind of delayed it a little bit, and I didn't think it was going to be delayed. Like, it didn't need to be delayed that long, but it was so close to
That's for the
22
best.
that
That's for the
Yeah.
best, honestly.
That is a good date to release an album. So that's good. That's good.
I wish there would be like 22 months in a year instead of 12. That would be even better. Like 22nd of 22nd month of the year of 2022, or I don't know.
Okay. So we have here, this song is called Uninvited. This is the third track from the album Fading by Francis Vace. Let's check it out. Is this in any way related to the Alanis Morissette song Uninvited? Is that Alanis Morissette? Okay.
no, not at all.
All right, let's get her done.
A big night is coming soon. I wonder if they'll stare. I wonder who will be there too. But that's only if I get there. Your invitation's in the mail. That's what they tried to say. And I'm not sure if I believe them. They tried to speak to no avail. I can't listen to them bray. And I can't believe that they do this again.
It's so good. It's so good. It's got this kind of like atmospheric sort of casual vibe with the strummed guitars and everything. And then we go into this more like driving two-step beats. That was really good. It's very good. I like that a lot.
Another night in the tower.
I also like how the lead guitar doesn't have like, it is not super wet. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. Moist.
It's not forced.
Yes, it's not moist.
I think it's not. It's like it's not forced in like in the mix. Like, it's not above everything. It's just there. It's audible, and like it's just supporting the whole thing.
Right, exactly. It fits in there so perfectly.
I think for these like verse intro bits, I didn't really want it to feel like there was distinctly a lead guitar. Like I wanted to feel more like it was just kind of part of the whole kind of soundscape leading into the verse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the better approach in this case.
and
Like,
it,
it's more-
I think it feels good. It really does have sort of a more natural vibe to it, and I like that a lot. It's good.
Yeah, in the very first one, like the intro, I guess. Like the sound is much more similar to the background guitar, so it's really kind of faded in there. And then when you come to the second time around, I changed it to a slightly drier, slightly more distorted one, so it pulls it forward just a little bit. But not too much, I don't think.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, let's keep it going.
And I can hear it from here. Another night, another hour. Just try to block out the cheers. Your invitations in the mail. That's what they tried to say. And I'm not sure if I believe them. They tried to speak to no avail. I can't listen to them berate. And I can't believe that they do this again. Your invitations in the mail. That's what they tried to say. And I'm not sure if I believe them. They tried to speak to no avail.
I think that is technically called a pussy blast. When it alternates back and forth like that without any counts in between, it's just do-ka-do-ka-do-ka-do-ka. Yeah, that is there you go. We have our blast beats, everyone.
Hit the like button.
All right,
True.
well,
I've got
it's not
that
a term
is
that I've heard, and it's probably not I would not one
Yeah.
I will use to refer to it going forward. But right.
I can't remember. I don't know if that's definitely not the official term for it, but colloquially, yeah, the alternating back and forth really fast like that is a pussy blast. You know, you've got your hammer blast where you have the snare, bass, and hi-hat all going at the same time, bop, 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 and then you have you've got all different kinds of blast beats, and that one, if I remember correctly, is called a pussy blast. And yeah, so
I am not familiar
Delicious.
with that terminology.
no, not at all.
I think
No, that's just there are blast beats. That's all that matters for me. Like I don't care if they're like any different or they use like different technique or perform a different tempo or a different order when you just play the snare, the hi-hat, and the kick simultaneously, or just first the snare then the kick, or first the kick then the snare, etc., etc. I don't distinguish them like at all. They're just blast beats, and that's all that matters.
I'm a huge nerd, and I like to be able to label all the different ways, all the different types, and all that whatever. Just a big nerd. This is basically death metal now. True, it's got a blast beat in it. This is now death metal. This is Midwestern emo death metal, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like. I wouldn't have thought of like that section as having a blast beat per se, because like that beat is just a fairly common like punk chorus beat where you just like kind of just play fast then reverse the kick and the snare.
Yeah, I watch this stream frequently, but I still don't know what a blast beat is. I'm a scrub, I know. I will write down some musical notation for you, because that's all it is. It is hi-hat, snare, and bass drum. Like this is the most common type of blast beat is called a hammer blast, and it is hi-hat, snare, bass drum all playing at the same time in like eighth notes, just and yeah. So there's actually a really great video that I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head, like Samson 666 or something like that. And this is like the super nerdiest video of all time, but it's the different types of blast beats, and he does with notation and everything, and it's one of my favorite videos on the internet of all time, and it's really cool. Hey, Crashy Tunes in chat, hello. So yeah, there's that, the different types of blast beats, and there you go. That's the most basic form of blast beat right there. If that helps you at all. Anyway,
Except it's played on the piano.
well, yeah, he does piano notation.
Okay, here we go.
It's just good. So good, so good. Anyway, we're going back to Francis Vace. We've got 10 seconds left on this song, so let's finish it out. No, my play button is now bound to this video, which is annoying, but let's... Okay.
I can't listen to them pray, and I can't believe that they do this again.
There you go. We got the last 10 seconds of that song.
What I like about this particular one is that it reminds me of that like old track, like the chorus of this song sounds well, it's not identical. It's just similar, and it uses like the same-ish elements as that one that goes like what was the lyrics? I will rise above them, I will see them fall. But like, it's been 70 years, so it's like it sounds better now. But like,
Yeah.
It gives off that vibe, and I feel like this new song has like less overdrive or less distortion, and it feels more more in the mix. Like with everything else, it works like slightly better, and it gives off that garage punk rock vibe. I don't know, because like 7 years ago, I Will See Them Fall. It sounded more raw. I think it also had like brass, like trumpets and trombones, if I recall correct. I'm not really sure. It
Yeah.
probably did. And like now it feels more professionally mixed to achieve that garage vibe. I don't know, because like back then, 7 years ago, it still sounded raw and like maybe had that like garage, like amateur type of mixing or like sound, like wall of sound. I don't know how else to describe it, but like now it feels like all elements that came together and they work so much better together, like mixed more properly. So like pretty sure you just like became better at mixing over the past 7 years. So it shows.
I think
just like-
yeah, that's that can happen. This well, not this song, because now the next one's been selected, but the one we just listened to is actually an older song than I Will See Them Fall.
Older.
I wrote it and released it even on an EP called Lunar Phase, which was like I think the third thing I'd ever like done properly for horse music, and I've taken it down now because it fucking sucks. Like it's not a good album in terms of like the product, but I think some of the songs on there are really cool. And I don't even know why, but someone was talking about like old music, and I heard this old song, and I was like, I think that this would make, like, I think like I was working on this album at the time, and I was like, oh, this old song is like the song structure and the way it's written, I think would really suit this new album. So I kind of just like broke it down and kind of started from scratch again with like the kind of the lyrics and the chords, and a lot has changed, but like the kind of core of the song is quite an old song.
Interesting. Is it also like a Party of One reference, or what is it about?
So it's about the Grand Galloping Gala, and so like everyone's having this like great time, and then like the whole time Princess Luna is just like stuck up on this balcony, just like watching from a distance, and like
so it's a different perspective, because like I like just looking at the lyrics, I just thought it might be a Party of One reference, because like technically Pinkie Pie was in a tower on top of the Sugar Cube Corner or something like that, because like that's where her room is, and like she also got invited by her like friends, and she refused to go because and she's like thinking that they don't want to see her there, and like and yet she wants to see them again, etc. And like she's kind of troubled, and I don't know. I never thought it would be about Princess Luna initially. So like it like maybe I'm just biased. Like it gave me the Party of One vibe. So
yeah, I can definitely see that, because like in Party of One you kind of have a very similar storyline, but you know Party of One actually focuses on that uninvited character, whereas one of the things I liked about the idea of this was like we as an audience are seeing the like good times that Luna is missing out on, and then writing from the perspective of something other than what we see as the audience normally.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a really good choice. That is an interesting choice, and I like that a lot. That's good stuff. Sorry, I'll watch the stream tomorrow. It's midnight over here, and I'm falling asleep in my chair, Lamau. By the way, this album is fire. Congrats for such a great release. Fire emoji. Fire emoji. I like it. Let's see here. Oh, hey, unexpected time for a stream. Yes, Weird Kyrian in chat is correct. We had to accommodate for the Australian. So we are listening to Francis Vace.
Good.
Yeah. Yes.
I appreciate it.
I am streaming from my kid's bedroom, so he is down in the living room probably watching this video right now. And he's not supposed to be, but that's okay.
Oh, my word.
So we will continue. This is Koa, I think. Kwa? I have no idea. Background part 2, Francis Vace remix. I'm sorry, did I say it wrong?
KOA.
Oh, it's just KOA?
I'm pretty sure it's Koa, but like KOA, it's an interesting way to pronounce the name.
Oh,
I think she made a post recently specifically saying, please everyone stop calling me KOA.
Oh.
Like, I'm not following her
That's
on
what I
Twitter,
thought you were
so-
referring to.
No, I'm not following her on Twitter, so I'm like clueless. I haven't seen it on my timeline because like from time to time I see her tweets like by everyone else, and like that's how I find out about them in the first place. But like,
Okay.
Yeah. This one
Alright,
has
so- Sorry, go ahead.
specific art too if you wanted to open it in a new tab.
I do. We have that one, and now we've got this one. What?
Oh, no it doesn't. I'm sorry.
whoops.
I could have sworn I gave this one its own art, but maybe I'm just
Maybe it's a
misremembering.
technical difficulty. Maybe it's supposed to, but I don't know. Listening to Francis
Who
Vace
knows?
was musically in conversation.
I've led you astray. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Let's check out this song, Background Part 2. Now, is this song by Koa or... this song is by Koa, and it's a Francis Vace remix. When you say a remix... Because remix means a million trillion different things. So what does this mean to you? What is the definition of remix here?
If I had my way, I would have called this a cover. But she and I spent a while like kind of debating as to what this should be labeled as.
Yeah.
And her thoughts were that because it uses content from the original song, that you know, kind of no matter what else is going on, that counts as a remix. So
Oh, okay.
you know, I don't want to like I don't want to step on like any toes or anything. And if I'm using someone else's like content in my music, then I'm gonna kind of.
Okay.
I would rather them be happy than do
understand.
anything to annoy them. So.
So it's mostly a cover, but it samples from the original song, so we call it a remix. I understand that. That's kind of what I was driving at, so I was just making sure that that was the kind of thing we were doing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Functionally, in terms of what I did, it's almost exactly the same as track number 7, which we'll listen to later, I guess. But I just took the original song, kind of made a cover of it, and then I put the original vocals on top. And for the song number 7, I kind of showed the original artist, and she decided that she wanted to redo vocals. So it almost becomes like her and I both doing a cover of the song that she originally wrote, but with the Koa one, it uses the original vocals.
Okay. All right. Well, let's check it out. Background Part 2, Francis Vace remix. Let's do it.
I'm not supposed to feel this way now. Supposed to stay straight and narrow. Supposed to be strong and brave, but the world's so big and scary, and I think it's against me. Think it's trying to test me. But it's so depressing.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I do have a question now. Now that we have had horns, because I don't think we've heard horns yet. And horns are kind of like a staple of Francis Vace music, or at least has been for a while. So, when you're doing horns, is it similar to how you program drums, or do you actually play horns, or how is this working?
There is one song out there that I actually played the trumpet part in, and it's not good. So for the most part, I use session horns.
Okay.
I think that's right. It's like a Native Instruments plugin, and you can kind of either have it play like a traditional like kind of MIDI instrument, which is what it is in this song. But the other thing you can do is have it play phrases, and then what I'll do a lot is I'll find like a phrase I like, but then you can kind of shift like the notes. So you can kind of use the phrase more like just kind of like a pattern, and then you shift the notes to kind of fit the melody you want it to play. And I use that a lot because like horns are such a nuanced instrument in terms of like the effect that how you start and end the notes really affects the way it sounds. And I think if you have it as a MIDI instrument in the same way that you might have like, you know, a piano, and it's kind of all very similar and you don't have all of that kind of roughness around the edges, it feels super wrong, I think. I can't get away from that. And with this one, I think it works okay because like it's a slow enough melody that you kind of are able to like I think in this case, like, you know, I'm using like a sample that kind of rises and falls a bit so that like over this kind of longer span it works okay. But if you were trying to do something like really quick and intricate, then like you're gonna lose a lot of those kind of in between bits that you get, which I don't think I don't think that I've ever been able to get a horn line that I like out of purely just like programmed MIDI.
Okay.
But
Well, that's
the
pretty cool.
phrases help.
That's
And I do a
cool.
similar
That's
thing like I
cool.
was talking about with the drums, where I kind of take like, oh, I like the start of this phrase, but like the way it ends, like that's not really suiting like the melody I want to do. So I'll like kind of like pull them apart and put them back together again. So I'm just kind of taking like these little small kind of strips of the phrases and putting them together.
That's super interesting, and I've never really thought of that before. It's never really been available to me because I use Get Good drums. They don't really have. They have, I think, maybe one pre-made beat per kit, I think. And there's like 8 or 9 kits or something like that on the Get Good drums. So I've never thought of doing that before, like reappropriating something like that. But that's an interesting idea that I might have to look into. I think it's really cool that there are like DAWs and samples and stuff like that all just have this ability to give you all of the tools to be able to make music on your own in a way that sounds, you know, semi-professional like this. It's really interesting. I like that a lot. So yeah, let's keep her going. Background part 2.
Do my best to hold it under. Don't wanna blow the world asunder. Keep it underneath my skin, but I'm bursting when you're near me. And no, I wanna tell you, but I don't wanna scare you, And if you don't believe me, if you leave me, I don't know what I'd do. But when I'm with you, I don't care, honey. Let's go there. Show me all that
But
we
this line would be one that I'm using a pre-made phrases for. That horn
sorry.
line.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did not hear any of that.
I was gonna say the horn line we probably just got to the end of is one where it's an example of like a pre-made phrase that I've kind of made work in like by altering the notes and swapping around some of the bits and pieces and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
Love you and blue, my cover I lose it all, so I just hide it in the background.
background part two. So this is I super dig the tone on this distorted guitar here, or distorted or overdriven or something like that. Just basically whatever effects playing on the guitar right now. It's super. It's a very full sound. Covers a lot of frequencies. It's very good. It's an all-around really good warm tone, but then it also mixes well with this it's like a synth, but it's not so far away from the trumpet or the horn or whatever you were using. Is that a synth layered within the brass? It sounded like a synth to me. And so that synth is not so far away from the brass that we've been hearing so far, so it doesn't make it unfamiliar. It stays familiar, but it's also changed flavor. Super interesting. I really like the sound design in this passage here.
Is it layered with the brass or the vocals? Because like I can tell if that's like the vocal samples of her singing like or is it like something else mixed with the sing?
Well, the man himself is here.
I mean,
yeah, so it's in the first time that line came in, it would have been just horns, and now it's the same horns layered with some synth. And I don't think that there's vocals doing that same line. It's been a while, and I don't want to say anything for sure, but I don't think there's vocals.
Just gives
that line.
that impression that there is something like singing mixed with synthesized sounds, but like perhaps because it is mixed with the brass, it gives off the impression that the articulation sounds somewhat similar in delivery to the voice, like the way you articulate the voice, like the way you start and end the phrases. It is somewhat similar to how you play the brass instrument and like perform actual notes on the brass instrument. So like you still have the same approach to articulation. So that's why I probably think it's voice, because like it has a similar approach to processing and arranging the brass part. So yeah.
Why hasn't Francis Vace been performing at cons? He's so talented. That's a question.
That would be mostly down to that would be mostly down to the cost of getting to most cons.
Right. Yeah.
It's expensive both in money and in time, because like if I'm going to America, I want to be there for a couple of days before the con, and I don't want to be leaving like straight after it as well. So like it'll cost me like a week of work, and then also however much it costs to fly there and back. So it's
there are 0 pony cons down south in that shitty little island that you guys call a country.
No, there are conventions.
There,
as far as
there have been.
So
yeah, we had there's a bit of a history of PonyCons in Australia. We had PonyCon AU that went for a couple of years. They tried to start that came a bit later. They tried to start a con called Sydney. And then they cancelled that at the very last minute, and like so late that like some of the talent was like, unrefundably booked to come, and Ashley Ball ended up in Australia anyway.
Oh no!
So that was a bit rough for that one. Then a bit after that, there was a bit of a lull. They made. Oh, actually, no. Like on that weekend, they kind of had what they called Salvage Con, which was people were going to be there anyway, so they kind of put together like a fairly improvised event. They did that. They did Salvage Con too, so they were salvaging like nothing the second time, but they had it and it went okay. But then that was kind of it for that con. Then Alicon came along. I want to say a couple of years later, and that happened. Oh, geez, were there 2 or 3 Alicons? I think there are only 2 Alicons, and I don't think there's going to be another one. I'm not entirely sure. Like, you can't, what will the future hold? Who can tell? But I don't think there's going to be another Alicon.
Okay. Yeah, we have obviously we have lots and lots of PonyCons here, but they are all.
I have to see them. I have to see everyone posting about them on Twitter.
It's the worst because they're all even too far away from me. I can drive to them, but they're all on the coasts. And, eventually they will drown as the oceans rise, and then they will, we don't have to worry
You'll be
about
on the coast.
Yeah, it would suck ass, but they're even too far away from me. I'm stuck going to furry conventions, which is a whole different style of degeneracy, but it's good stuff. Okay.
Yeah. There's a furry con coming up in Queensland soon. But like even when we do have cons in my state, they don't do it. Like I live in the capital and they still don't do it here. They put it somewhere else. So I'm going to drive south for about an hour to get to this con. Well,
By the way, I just recalled that there was some stuff about the Alicon of 2015, I think, and at some point, Lycan said in the chat that he can explain something that happened at the Alicon, and then he said, like, I will tell you in 2022 because that's when 7-year non-disclosure agreement expires. And
well, if it was Alicon, I don't think it would be yet because 2015 was still PonyCon AU. I think Alicon was more of a late teens con.
Probably. I still need to ping Lycan in the chat once again and remind him of that, because I'm curious what happened back then that needed to wait 7 years of non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, if it was 2015, that would have been the first one that I had ever attended because I was there at the 2015 con in Australia.
It's in the pinned messages on Alex server, so.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that's why I remember that, because I opened the pinned messages and there's that where's the exact message, wait until 2022, that's when the 7-year non-disclosure gets lifted. He said that in 2018, so the message has been there since.
We're gonna find out some stuff about PonyCon AU.
Awesome. I love fucking drama, but no, but for real, that's good stuff. But I can imagine because in this area, just Tulsa, Oklahoma is very, very small. There's just I say small. There's not a lot of people here. Most of the land in Oklahoma is unsettled, or not literally unsettled, but there's just nobody there. It's a lot of open space. And whatever. So there's not a lot of people here. So whenever we do pony meets or furry meets or something like that, I used to put these together, and it was a huge fucking nightmare trying to get everybody coordinated. But there was only 12 people or whatever. So it ended up being really, really, really tight. And so considering Australia is just 20 or 30 people on an island in the middle of the ocean, I assume that the Australian bronies are all very, very tight. You basically all know everyone. Is that about right?
I think initially that would have been the case. I think that I wasn't really involved with the local scene until much later, and so I kind of missed out on that that early wave. And I know that people that were there, they'll talk about the how they still like meet up with each other and like they'll be going to each other's weddings and stuff like that. So like there definitely was a really tight scene in Australia for a while, but I kind of missed out on that one.
Huh. Okay.
If no one has seen Alex alive yet, even Faulty is like in the same city and like they haven't met IRL. So
yeah, there's every chance Alex is just an AI. He can't be seen because he cannot be perceived.
True.
All right, we got about a minute 10 seconds left on this song, so let us do background part 2, part 3.
I'm with you, I can't hold back how I feel. Why should I hide from you?
Oh, I almost missed chat. Bra with an A. Nobody does that. I live in Nebraska, and I still drive to almost every con in the U.S. that's based. Granted, I'm vending, so technically I'm working/making money. Based as fuck. Keep it going. Always make money at cons if you can. Ha! I always bring CDs with me to sell. Every time. Always. And then I go around to room parties and drink for free. Bra
Hell yeah.
degrees. All right, keep her going.
guess like that melody line that the synth and the horns are playing is like mirroring the vocal line that's like the main vocal.
Yeah.
So there's probably like there I guess like yeah if you want to get technical there is a horn synth and vocal all doing that line.
Right. I didn't. Yeah, because it seems like we're doing the same phrase as before, but now we have lead vocals layered over it. It conflicts a little bit. It seems. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like it is happening now. It wasn't happening before because like before there were no actual vocals, and now the vocals joined the combination of the synth and the brass. So now there are all three.
Yeah. It seems to try to conflict a little bit. I think it works. It stays layered pretty well. But it sounds like this synth and the vocals are fighting for the same frequencies, especially in that upper range, and it kind of conflicts a little bit. But overall, I think it was a good choice. I think they still work okay together. It wasn't like such a catastrophic mistake that it's gonna like throw off the entire song. It's not like I'm not gonna lie. I was really devastated that I didn't catch it before release. But like the 5th track on my latest album, the guy pitch corrected my vocals during the chorus of the 5th song, and so the end of each line goes flat. When you listen to the unmastered version, it sounds fine, but he pitch corrected the vocals, he uses Melodyne and shit on in what is it, Pro Tools or whatever, and yeah, he snapped it, and oh my god, it was a devastating mistake. So it doesn't sound the best to me. But anyway, so this is not a catastrophic mistake on that level where I was just all like, yeah, you know what? This sounds okay. I'll release it. And now when I listen back to it, I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. But yeah. So anyway, let's keep her going. Nice classic fade out, really good stuff. The frequencies tended not to conflict as much as we went through that chorus part. It tended more to just bury some frequencies from the vocals in that same range. It came off to me as conflicting at first, and then it just became overbearing, which is fine. You would rather have that would be better than a conflicting where you end up with just kind of really loud noises over anything else, or just like very uncontrolled spikes in your frequencies there. But good stuff, really good stuff. I liked that a lot for a quote unquote remix / cover / duo artist type of thing. All right.
The last vocal passage unironically reminded me of that one song we listened with what was that, with the cruise ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a part where the guitarist and the vocalist tried to nail the same note and didn't, and like they were like going for that one note. Like here she nailed it, but this particular how do you say this thing?
Yeah.
It just reminded me of how poorly it can be executed if done wrong. So here it is done
sure.
right. So.
That would be an excellent example of conflicting frequency ranges where it just didn't work.
Exactly.
It just came off
everything.
goofy as fuck.
conflicting instruments, conflicting frequencies, conflicted. I don't know. Everything is conflicting about that song.
So we are moving on. We are moving on to the sequel.
One and only.
The sequel to the one and only, probably Francis Vace's claim to fame here is the Oats song, which is one of those songs that I'm sure you got tired of hearing about. It's like, yay, I'm very proud of myself making a song that you all very much enjoy, but I do have other songs. And yes, I'm familiar with that feeling. But anyway, this is the sequel to that.
It does have a picture, though.
Oh, it does. So maybe this is what he was talking about before.
Maybe. But yeah, this one does.
All right. So this is Oats.
Yeah, I don't mind it, by the way. This definitely is like, if someone's gonna like come and be like, hey, this like song, it's always gonna be Oats.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it so much. I like the original, but there is a sense that like this song is kind of a response to that, where like it's a really goofy song originally, and like everyone like seems to like know it and be into it. I was kind of like, well, let's make it like a follow up, but like take all of the events of the original fully seriously and like make a song about like how devastating that could have been if that actually happened.
Yeah. Well, I like it. That's cool. That's awesome. That's actually like super fucking bass.
You've done.
Yeah, that's actually kind of neat. That's a great idea for a song too. I like the themes that we're going for so far. It's just very good. So anyway, Oats Part 2. Let's check it out.
Staring at the ceiling next to a dip in the mattress in the shape of you. Forever stealing glances at the doorway you used to come home through. And sometimes I still sit.
What? What? I had no idea. I guess mods in chat can drop links. I guess that's
I
interesting.
mean, I can, yes.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Nobody else can drop links, but I guess mods can. That's cool. Good stuff.
The table for two. I talk to myself 'cause there's no one else to talk to. And I'm spending my nights on the floor. And I even miss how you snore. And in a boat without oars. And I can't eat oats anymore.
I can't eat oats anymore. It's so fucking good. I like that so much. But I do want to address, so the whole Australian accent thing, you're just doing that for like attention, right? It's not real, because whenever you
do it
sing,
harder if you wanted.
no, whenever
I could lean more into it.
so whenever you're singing, the accent goes completely away. So like when you guys are by yourself, you don't do the accent anymore. It's just something to freak out Americans, right?
Of course.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that was a thing. We have confirmed it now, so we all understand. So
What?
there's this. There is the whole thing that British people and Australians, their native language is English, and so whenever you hear them singing, the accent goes completely away. Because if you'll notice, he says, "I can't eat oats anymore" in the song, not "I can't eat oats anymore," or
Well, he's not faulty, He's not
that's
faulty.
true. He is not faulty. He's not P-dubs.
If faulty could
PW
sing
is
that-
another example. Prince Whatever is another example where he is British as fuck, but then when he sings, you're not detecting an accent.
Honestly, I don't remember him like his spoken voice. I met him
Oh, you don't?
IRL, but like I don't remember him like actually talking or speaking. Like, I just don't remember that. So like I don't remember his accent being like weirdly British, like uncomfortable, uncomfortable, fuck.
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfy British, but like
No.
Yes,
It's not uncomfortable British, because uncomfortable British is that really awful Cockney bullshit that you hear, you know? That's the really bad British sound. But like he doesn't do that. He talks like as close as you can get to a normal, intelligent British person. Any amount of British is uncomfortable. True. It's not nearly as bad as Canadian. Canadian is the most imaginary country on the planet, where they're just like, oh yeah, bud, I really appreciate this music. Okay, like yeah.
because Canadians are French, you know.
True.
That's why.
It is true. Speaking of French, Mackenzie, the guy that you see in the comment section of every Pony song ever, he is incredibly French. The first time I met him at BronyCon, it was, oh my God, the stallion slaughter! I'm so glad to have met you, and it was really funny. I talked to Prince whatever at HummyCon, and he's got a British accent. Yeah, I know that. I know he's got a British accent, but when he sings, the accent goes away, which is just proof that he's doing it for attention. Anyway, so let's continue the song.
Miss you and the way that we were. I was a fucking bitch and oh so many other words.
I love the continued theme of the original Oats song, which was sort of edgy because it was so incredibly profane, but also had a just an interest, or like it seemed so native, like to the show itself. Like it just seemed like a song that you would hear in the show itself, like the type of music or whatever, or just like the type of style and everything. But it was also incredibly profane, which was hysterical. That contrast was just very good. And I like how the second verse continues that. It's so good. So good.
To forgive is not to be forgiven. Fucking love you if you would just listen. And I'm spending my nights on the floor. And I even miss how you snore. In a boat without oars. And I can't eat oats anymore.
I just love it so much. I do think this is the first, haven't been paying attention to the lyrics on the ones that do not have, kind of. Yeah.
Part 2.
Excuse me. So the ones that have
Yeah.
the
That was clever. I appreciate it.
the ones that have the unique album art, I've been looking at those lyrics. I think this is the first one where we have like an actual in-show reference with like an actual name or something like that. Am I correct, or am I missing?
That sounds correct. Where possible, I try to keep the song such that like if you didn't know the show, then you would just never know that it was like a song about horses. But if you did know the show, that you would kind of get the context and what's going on.
I gotcha.
but like, you know, in this case, like Lyra is also just like a regular person's name. Like, so
Is it?
like this.
I
Yeah,
don't think I've
I
ever
went,
met.
I went to school with a Lyra.
It could be.
I guess it could
Okay.
be. I don't know of anybody named Lyra.
I mean, technically, you can name your child like anything. Look at that huge little asshole with tons of money who named his son after the default like random generated password in Google.
Oh yeah, Elon Musk and I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're
that
talking
furry
about.
guy.
Did he actually name his kid that?
Yep.
Oh my god, he really did? I had no idea. I thought that was a meme.
No. I mean,
Wow.
he's a freaking billionaire. He can do anything.
That's true.
Everyone, and as long as everyone keeps making fun of them, him or whatever, like he only gets more popular and gets on that like hype wave, and that's why he keeps on going. And he keeps doing more like freak show type of stuff. So.
I do understand where you're coming from. There is a guy not a guy, like a person that I know of that lives in Texas. And his last name is Carr with 2 R's, but he goes by Dale Chevy Carr, which you might be a redneck. If you're not a redneck, you don't know anything about NASCAR. You don't know about Dale Earnhardt and that he drove a Chevy NASCAR. So that's why his name is Dale Chevy Carr, which is mega cringe. I can't imagine naming your kid after I guess, I don't know if we consider race car drivers athletes, but yeah, it's just, that was names. Anyway, let's continue.
Bending my eyes on the floor. I even miss how you snore. I'm in a boat without oars. I can't eat oats anymore.
I do like how the final hit is a lot more chilled out. Like it doesn't maintain the same energy. It just kind of like goes. It takes a step down. Yeah, it chills out. It's got it. It's good.
Can we take a moment to appreciate how the backing vocals are mixed in the chorus? Like incredibly soft yet present, and if you listen like carefully, you can hear them out. And like it's still there. It's tight. It only adds that softness to the main vocals. I don't know. I just like the way the backing vocals and the chorus are mixed and how they are delivered. Like
I didn't even
present,
realize.
but like not up front and not like crowding up the like not putting the main vocals into the background, but like really like embracing the main vocals.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that there was backup vocals. I thought that was a digital effect on the main vocals. So
That's
that
the
would
thing.
that's really impressive. That is good.
Well,
Excuse me.
I've got like a harmony line going for all of the choruses, but then in the last chorus, I continue the harmony line from the bridge underneath the chorus as well.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also
Alright.
a very interesting technique when you take like leitmotifs and other things from one part and mix it with the other part at the end of the song, because like first you introduce like one melody, then somewhere in the middle in the bridge part or whatever you introduce the second leitmotif or something like that, and you don't expect them to work together at the end because like they sound kind of different. They are delivered differently, and when you slap them together and they work somehow, this gives a very like impressive effect on the music, and I appreciate that a lot. When musicians do that and combine things they used previously and they slap them together, and those things together somehow work in a different way, in a unique way, I think that's like very interesting compositional technique. I enjoy in music a lot. Like in general, when I listen to music, I always tend to catch those things, and I like pay attention to them, and I like when musicians do that. So This is great.
This is good. All right, so the next song, track number 6, is called Outside, a place where most people on Twitter should go. We're going to listen to this one. It's about 2 minutes, 42 seconds long. Let us keep her going. Oh. You know what I'm going to appreciate, in addition to the harmonies, vocals that we were talking about earlier, is how, despite primarily being a bassist, you can't tell that this was mixed by a bassist. Whenever you have somebody that is like a drummer, for instance, you can absolutely 100% tell that it was mixed by a drummer or a guitarist or a vocalist or whatever. And I feel like this is a super well-balanced mix. And I appreciate the what's it called? Staying away from making it super, super bass heavy. Yeah, that
It's a
sounds
struggle. I really want to make it more bassy, but like I know that it's a bad idea, so I have to like really rein myself in because I do want more bass in there.
Yeah, because I can hear that there are interesting things going on, but it takes such a back seat, and I can understand and I appreciate the incredible amount of restraint that it takes to do such a thing. Because like every time I make like an interesting bass line, all of my bass lines are super, super simple because I'm not a bassist. So anytime I do anything even slightly cool at all, I'm like, okay, I need to boost this frequency. I need to cut off this instrument. This one part of the bass is going to be center fucking stage and everyone's going to hear it. And so I appreciate it when people don't do that because I have such a strong urge to do it and I can't resist it. So it's good. Anyway, let's keep her going.
Alone with my thoughts, alone with my voice, the sound of an echoing back from the void. Alone through these nights, alone through these days. Despite that, I've got nothing to say. Pressure building up, I can't keep it in. There is no difference without and within. Pressure building up, I can't let it out. It doesn't help to shout it out loud. What's the point of even having a voice if there's no one to hear it now? And what's the point of even having a choice? It's all the same in the end somehow. Someday and somehow I'll break down these lies you're living. But until then, I'll just be here outside looking in.
I just love the way the vocals were delivered throughout the whole chorus. It was so aggressive, but it's not so aggressive as to like be contrasting with the song. It maintains the same energy, a very driving force. Feels really good, man. Feels good. I like it a lot.
View from the top is not what it seems. The days start to blur and so do the dreams. The view from outside, the threshold like frost. Does what I've gained outweigh what I've lost?
Wow. I was wondering how we were going to end it because I was watching. I was like, we are still going really, really strong, but it just kind of dropped out.
No,
That was
it just ends. That's
yeah.
how that one is.
That's an interesting choice. It's always interesting when people do that. There's no like fade out or whatever when it just ends. It's a very interesting artistic choice that you don't hear very often. And most of the time, and this really is an exception. To be honest, it's like, it comes off as a little bit jarring. I think this is my favorite song, though. I think this one is because, and it might be just I'm biased towards more aggressive sounds. It sounded like the entire the sound design, the performance, everything about this song was so aggressive and it sounded so good, but it also maintained that melody and all of the same harmonies and backups and all of the shit that we've liked so far, while also being super aggressive. It's just very good. I think this is definitely my favorite one.
Was
Good
that
stuff.
there was something in the verses like, and the endings of some lines that went into triplets. I think it was like timed a little bit weirdly, but like there was like a tiny little detail I noticed when listening. Like at some points, it was just going into triplets instead of like even eights or something like that. Then and we there's no difference with then and without. Some of those lines were like weirdly tripleting. I don't know how to explain that because like it felt like triplets, but like three-peat triplets or. I will need to listen to that again, but like I'm not sure what you did there. It was interesting.
Wish I could
I
say
think
it
some
later.
some whole lines are in triplet. So like pressure building up, I can't keep it in. There is no difference without and within.
Maybe it was just the instrumental like underlying the triplets in the vocals, because like first the instrumental goes like so like even eights, and then for the ending of the line it just goes with the lyrics and it all just goes triplets, both the instrumental and the vocals. Maybe that was the thing that made me like a little bit confused. Not sure. Like that was interesting. That was the little detail. Fucking I can't speak English. Detail I noticed. Sorry.
Wish I could stay up later, but I've got to think about work. Gonna keep watching for a few more minutes, but I'm gonna have to leave soon. Fantastic stream. Francis Vace has some fantastic tune. Love y'all. Love you too. Good night,
Love
sweetie. By the way, Francis Vace is spelled with a C. Just pointing that out there. Okay, so we are moving on to the next song. Francis Vace.
Sometimes when I want to
Sometimes.
like annoy people, if they ask how it's pronounced, I will say it's pronounced like this, and I'll write it just with an S.
That's nice. All right, so Francis Vace and Jade Kelly, My World of Make Believe. I am not familiar with the Jade Kelly, but you said that this was a similar style of remix / chorus or cover, but then the Jade Kelly person also redid their vocals, so then you have kind of it's just a straight across cover of the original song using the original artist, correct?
Yeah, that
cool.
is the case.
Cool deal. Okay, so let's check this one out. Francis Vace and Jade Kelly, My World of Make Believe. In compositions like these, where all of the instruments come off as quite moist. It really kind of showcases how sort of dry the samples are. I think, or not the samples, the drums. The drums come off as a little bit dry in contrast to the more wet instrumentals being played, which is an interesting choice. I don't think I could. I think I would have the urge to make the drums a little more wet as well. Maybe give them a little bit more room, make them a little more boomy or something like that. The more I listen to the samples, the only part of the kit that I'm not super vibing with, I think, is the bass drum. It's not as whole as I'm used to. The most of the time when I like what I particularly like, this is just obviously conforming to my tastes specifically, and I'm sure that you could swap it out to, or if you wanted to, but this particular bass drum come off as kind of flat, especially in a composition such as this one. But yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good though. It's not like, obviously it's not catastrophic. I'm not like, this is fucking unlistenable garbage. Yeah, that's just a note.
I've used the same bass drum pretty much since I got 82. And this is the first album that I've actually switched it up, and I've put a new like kick sample in. I think for most of the songs it works better, but I definitely can hear what you mean with this one.
Yeah, it in all of the other songs it didn't really stand out. I mean, like, it did. It's that particular sample, that bass drum sounds a little bit flat and a little bit dry, but this is the first time where it's really popped out, been like, goddamn, that's a very flat, dry bass drum. But it worked in all the other ones. But maybe it'll fit in better as we continue. Jade Kelly is so underrated. Her voice is so good! ! I am not familiar with Jade Kelly, to be honest with you, but I am very glad that this person is well known, because these vocals are very good so far in the first 50 seconds. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
She's not like a horse person, so like she's not particularly well known in the horse scene. She had a song on the most recent Ponies at Dawn, so some people will know her from that, and then also like I've been doing stuff with her, so they might know her from that as well.
I love horse person. That's so good. That's good. I love it. Okay, let's keep it going.
Fireworks not the taste. I build you a tower so we can view the world from the very top and talk for hours now.
Oh man, what did you think of that passage there, Soul Strings? I liked that quite a bit. I was vibing with that 100%. I liked that a lot.
I like the contrast between the tone of the guitar between the verse and the chorus, because in the chorus it felt more detached and dry, especially on the palm muting and like string muting, because like it felt much more dry than in the verses, so like it just contrasted a lot with the verse. Like that.
I think one of my favorite parts about this overall sound design of the whole album so far is that when applying effects, this is something we've said before already, but when applying effects, Francis doesn't go fucking ham wild with it, you know? You just kind of like apply the effect and go, there is distortion now. Not, you know, we're not overdriving it to absolute shit, fucking, you know, that kind of shit.
I mean,
it's just,
it's not the high gain like amplifier or anything.
yeah. It's
I
just
think.
it comes off as like your classic. Almost like the early 80s, late 70s, you slashed the speaker with a razor on your guitar amp in order to manufacture type of a type of distorted sound. It just comes off as that kind of thing, and it sounds really, really good. I really enjoyed that. It's such a good sound design. I'm really, really impressed with that. The restraint involved, it's so good. It's really good. Keep it going. Instrumental to me, it feels nostalgic specifically because this feels a lot like a Junkie XL, like Forza Motorsports 1 menu music type of thing, which is a very good thing. Like, I loved that fucking soundtrack a lot, but that it has a lot of the same vibes there, and not necessarily because he did like very heavy distortion type of thing. So if you were to like rein him in and not make it as heavy or whatever, it has a lot of this same vibe, and it feels very good. I'm having a hard time because I want to say this is my new favorite one. I do like the Outside one though. Still, I think I like that one the best. But this is also very good. I'm impressed with this overall sounds design so far. Good stuff. Keep going. That sort of quasi, like, I don't know what to call it. I would refer to it, if it was heavier, it would sound like a breakdown or something. But that it kind of had this a breakdown vibe to me. Okay, I'm gonna nerd out some more. I love the overall sound design so much because it maintains so much of the idiosyncrasies that you find with independents, like in not commercial releases. Like, I imagine if somebody listens to, for instance, like one of my songs, I imagine people are comparing me to commercial releases because that is the sound that I'm going for. I'm going for a very mainstream sound that is very comparable to commercial releases. And this seems to be very divorced from that. This seems to be very different it seems to be very independent and not trying to be maintained or like a mainstream release or like a commercial release. It just stands on its own and seems to resist all of the what's it called, trends. You know, it just kind of goes. It's so good. It's really, really impressive sound design, and I like it a lot. It's very good.
Yeah, I guess one of like the, I mean, like, we've mentioned already. Like, I'm really trying to kind of get into that Midwest emo style in terms of what's like flavoring this album. And one of the things I really love about that is how like DIY the aesthetic is of the sound design, and a lot of kind of the pieces that kind of come together make it feel like it's this thing that is created by people, not by like machines or people in suits or anything like that. Like, it feels like the people that are making it because it's what like they want to express.
Right. And it does, I think this so far, I say so far, but it has, you know, it captured that vibe. It does feel like, you know, a bunch of dudes in the basement that are just kind of throwing sounds into a digital recorder and being like, this is our sound now and we're going to be making music or whatever. It doesn't have the ultra high polished sound of like the commercial release where everything is turned up to 11 and compressed to fucking shit so it can be just as loud as everything else, and all that, because loud equals good for some reason in commercial releases. And this is, yeah, so it definitely does capture that vibe of a bunch of guys that know what they're doing but also are, you know, DIY. That's very good. It's very good.
There is something in this music and in this delivery that makes it sound genuine and sincere.
Which is ironic, considering we know that it is pieced together from pre-made stuff. Some of the elements of it, like the drums and the horns, I assume that the keys are the same way.
We know that as musicians, as like technicians who know what music consists of, but like for like casual listeners, it's just, wow, that's a vibe. I can drive my car on like a lonely highway on a rainy evening. Like, Jesus, this is a big vibe. This is like, oh cool. I'm turning it down so good, like in the background. This is a huge vibe. I'm vibing to that. Whoa, cool music. I'm just driving. So that's what I imagine like casual listeners would think of it, as if I don't know. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Like, whatever. You get the idea. So like,
I get the idea. All right, we got about a minute. We got about a minute 40 left. So let's keep going. No, I'm an idiot. I can't math. So let's keep going. Okay, forget it.
Yeah, my favorite bass part of the album is coming up.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, the bass in this outro is probably my favorite bass in this album.
All right, we're gonna have to critically listen to it because you bury it, you know, like a responsible musician. But yeah, I'll pay attention to it. All right, let's do it. I see what you're saying. It kind of had sort of a funky, sort of a swung vibe to it. I mean, obviously it wasn't swung, but it's shuffled. Yeah, it felt good.
I also like how like for the last like two bars, like the very last line of the vocals, the drums, like the instrumental basically the drums switched from shuffled beat to straight.
Oh no!
Like even
I'm
eights.
sorry.
So like it goes like tick tick.
We lost you for a second.
Damn. So like
Okay.
yeah. So I like how the drums switched from shuffled beat to even eights for the last line of the vocals. So it goes like tick 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 tick. So like it was shuffling before, then the shuffle ends and the song and the whole song just fades out. Also, this is also I think that's an interesting detail when you need to fill up some certain parts of the song with vocals, and to make it more interesting, you just remove the main vocals and you're only left with backing vocals. So it feels as if there's a new part introduced, like vocally, but it's just the same thing without the main vocals. And then you bring the main vocals back, and it sounds like a whole chorus again.
Yeah.
So like that's a trick. That's a trick. You can trick your audience by like removing the main vocals. Here, this is a whole new part, all new vocals. You've never heard them before. And like, wow! And that's just the backing vocals that were there all the time. It's just no main vocals whatsoever, and it feels new. But
Yes,
we
framing.
we know what you did there. So like, yeah, that's an interesting thing.
The framing, yeah, framing, good. All right, so this next one, track number 8, is called Background Hum. So let's check
It
that
also
one.
has a picture. It also has a picture.
Oh, it has a picture?
It does.
Let us see it. Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay. So we've got Background Hum. I'm trying to get it all straight. There we go. Okay, let's check it out.
Trying to ignore the feeling in my chest and in my head. I close my eyes and I pretend that I don't feel it spread. My hands are shaking like a leaf, and they are drenched in sweat. Temporary fucking relief is all that I can ever get. Making friends with the background hum, learning to live with the wine. Odds and ends that I wish were numb, yearning to finally feel fine. Making friends with the background hum, not to end, maybe overcome.
Another really, really solid chorus that just, man, that's really, really good shit. Really solid introduction that just kind of, no frills, just kind of seemed to just go, we are doing the song now. And then we went straight into the verse and everything. It's just super good. I'm really impressed by all that. Now, I do want to ask about your workflow. How do you start? Like, where do you begin?
Almost always with like the instrumental first. And it will normally be like I'll find a beat that I like, and then I'll just kind of play I'll kind of just noodle chords over that until I find something that I think fits and goes well. And then I'll record that, and then I'll kind of build the song outwards from there.
Okay.
And I'll almost always have like a song pretty much fully finished with like drums and guitar chords, and then that's kind of like the basis for it, and then I will add like lead and bass kind of around that to kind of fill it out and turn it from like this kind of skeleton of a song into a more full song. Then I'll do vocals, and then what I'll do is after the vocals are in, I'll kind of come back in and I will redo a bunch of bits. So like, like this part here, like, doesn't quite work with the vocals, so like we'll pull it out a bit, or I'll like put an extra line in here because like it turns out I didn't write vocals for that section, so we're going to fill it out with like some lead or something else like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In order to frame the vocals better. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. That's neat. Okay. Let's keep it going.
Trying to ignore the static that has crept into my hands. Desperate not to give it the attention that it demands. Everywhere is feeling warm, except not my toes. It's impossible to name, but I feel it in my bones. Making friends with the background hum, learning to live with the wine. Odds and ends that I wish were numb, yearning to finally feel fine. Making friends with the background hum, learning to live with the wine. Odds and ends that I wish were numb, yearning to finally feel fine. Making friends with the background hum, not to end, maybe overcome. Making friends with the background hum.
Yes. Yes. I love this aggressive driving beat. This is such a good way. Oh man, this is so good. This is so good.
Not to end, maybe overcome.
And it was good how we had the drums introduce us into each hit, and each hit just kind of built and then resolved. Nice little ending there with a super aggressive driving beat, arguably a blast beat there as well. Just good, delicious, delicious all the way around. That was oh man, I don't know if that one supplants Outside as my favorite one. Comes very close for sure. I like that one a lot.
Ooh.
So now we have somebody that we've covered a couple of times. Luck Rock on here. Solastalgia. What the fuck is Solastalgia?
It's nostalgia for the sun.
Ah, okay. So this is a portmanteau. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Francis
Well,
Vace.
I mean, I'm assuming things here. Luckrock named this song, so you'll have to
Oh.
ask him about like the specifics of it. But
I wonder
it's,
if
it's like a
Last Algia.
Solastalgia.
So last Algia. So last Algia. I
okay. Or maybe
Yeah,
it is actually
I
a
don't-
word, and I've just been assuming it's a portmanteau this whole time.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Solastalgia is a neologism formed by the combination of the Latin words. So it is kind of a portmanteau of algia and solacium, that describes a form of emotional or existential distress caused by environmental change. It is best described as the lived experience of negatively perceived environmental change. So it didn't mean anything
that's-
that we thought it did.
That makes more sense than what I thought. Like the song, as far as I can tell, is kind of about the emotions of. Am I going to get this character wrong? Moon Dancer after Twilight moves away.
Yes.
that one.
The Twilight
The one with
recolor.
The eyebrows pony.
Yes. Oh shit! So the the Twilight recolor with that's this one. Yeah, Moon Dancer with the glasses. The eyebrows pony. Yeah, I don't. Does any of the other ponies have eyebrows? Now that I think about it.
No, they do have, but like not that huge eyebrows.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is called Solastalgia. Okay, Francis Vace and Luck Rock.
Now that's emo.
What did what part did Luck Rock play? Is this his song that you've decided to cover, or how is this working?
So for this one, I did the instrumental and sent it to Luck, who wrote the vocals, like the lyrics and the vocals for it.
Okay.
And then we went a bit back and forth in terms of like kind of finalizing how the vocals would look, because I think that this particular style of song is not an easy one to kind of write vocals for. So we did have like a bit of like a back and forth, like where he would suggest something and I would suggest something, and then he would like go, oh, maybe this instead. And
Yeah,
so
I
we
gotcha.
kind of had a bit of back and forth in that regard.
So he wrote you some lyrics and threw down some vocals, and you were like, "Oh, mate, this is shit." And then you got it figured out from there. I like it. All right, so let's check it out. It's exactly the same length as the previous song. So Francis Vace and Luck, yes, 3 minutes 10 seconds, both of them.
Okay.
All right, let's check it out.
The world ended when you went away. You got to go, I had to stay. Life goes on just like every night ends with the morning sun. We got to see it all get better. The work of our lives made it matter. Every day beside you felt like home. Now when I go alone. Rainbows won't light up the sky unless you let it rain. But I can't help why. Must I feel this pain? Sometimes I cannot think of the better things. Sometimes I think about way back when. Sometimes I can't forget. I gotta let you go. Sometimes I wish I could see you again.
God damn! And this chorus is very, very aggressive. But you can.
How can you use that like Autumn Blaze song? For the rainbows, like one line. That was perfect.
It was. It is interesting. It does. This is definitely a style that Luck Rock is very not used to, and it shows. You can most definitely hear that this style of music is very, very, very made for Francis Vace vocals. So it's like night and day when we trade vocal parts here. Luck Rock is holding his own. He's doing okay. He is so very pop punk though. His vocals always come off as extremely pop punk to me, and I'm not really sure if he's super versatile enough to get out of that bubble. So it works, I think, in the way we've composed this so far. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I do like the composition so far, though. Let's keep her going.
Those were the best days, our formative years, finding our way, overcoming fears. Not always adventure or something new, just a reminder of what makes a friendship through. With time comes wisdom and growing through pain, learned by losing what keeps us sane. You helped me to learn and to see it all through. Then came the end, but just for you.
love across the nation. Forgiveness needs no explanation. Fighting evil 3 at a time. Tartarus for pony crime. Singing songs, drop of a dime. Save the world, didn't mind. Sometimes I cannot think of the better things. Sometimes I think about way back when.
Luckrock really nailed that bridge, the bridge that goes into the passage before the chorus. He really nailed that. He doesn't super have, this is kind of why I say that he's like in the pop punk bubble, is that he doesn't super have the range. It seems like when he goes into the lower notes, and he loses a lot of his vibrato control, and whatever. He has come so far though. Like I've been listening to Luckrock songs since his very first one. I say very first one, but the first one I heard from him was called Spike, I'm Cheering for You, and he's just improved so much. It's like night and day. But yeah, it's a good. I think he wrote well. I think he wrote a good vocal part. And then he really extra nailed that bridge. Oh, it's Fluttershy, the crystal one.
Nice.
Okay, so let's keep her going.
Sometimes I can't forget, I gotta let you go. Sometimes I wish I could see you again. For now I'll small smile when I think of you. For now I'll take a breath and just let it be. For now I think that I will keep moving on. Always I know that you're here with me.
I do like how it ended kind of on an off-color note there, right there at the end. That was interesting. It just kind of went along with the rest of the theme of the song, the existential type of shit or whatever. That was cool. That was neat. All right. That was fun. Interesting choices pretty much throughout that whole song. I'm not really sure that one was for me. There's a lot of elements to it that I didn't vibe with very much, but we are moving on to the next one. This is the last one, actually. Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride. I
It
assume.
also has the separate picture.
Oh, cool. Kill. Yes, we've seen this one before. Nice. Okay, so Earth Pony Balloon Escape Ride, or whatever the fuck. Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride, featuring Scoonie.
That's the one.
Now, is this a G5 restaurant? G5 reference?
Yeah, that's the pony who flew the balloons in the movie, and like there was that thing that was, I'm not sure if it was really called Pony Balloon Escape Pack, but like it probably was. I don't remember from the movie, but like he was flying throughout the whole movie and appearing like in the newspapers, in the background somewhere, flying around, and he landed only the very last minutes of the movie, and like, hey guys, what did I miss? And there was like unicorns and Pegasi everywhere.
Right.
He was like shocked. Yeah.
Right.
So this is basically, I think that's the song, like about how he felt about that whole experience.
Yeah.
From his
Yeah.
perspective. Sorry.
Pretty much, yeah. There's the at the start of the movie, there's that kind of tech show, I guess, where they're showing off all of the like ways that they're going to defend from the unicorns and the Pegasi, and one of them is the Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack. And it goes off, and then the person just gets like sucked out the roof, and that spends the entire movie just kind of floating around. And this song, yeah, it's kind of like about that, but it's also like, I guess, kind of like a quarantine song where it's like feeling like kind of being apart from everything and kind of watching, stuff happen from a distance.
Oh yeah, because I forget that. Yeah, Australia's lockdown was like super strict. I forget.
Yeah.
that We
Yeah.
never really had a lockdown in the United States. We never really did. They enforced what's it called? Times, like not times, but like times. So businesses had to close at a certain time and were only allowed to open at a certain time. So restricted
martial
hours,
law?
but there wasn't any. No. There was no curfew or anything. You could be out for as long as you wanted, but businesses were required to close at 11 p.m. and then were only allowed to open at 6 a.m. And outside of that, we had no lockdown. People were allowed to be out and about if they wanted to be. And that's the only form of lockdown we got. We have over 1 million COVID deaths though. So I'm just saying the lack of effort might have something to do with that as well. I don't know how Australia was doing with that, with the full on lockdowns and shit. Was it as crazy as they say it was?
Well, it varied from state to state. Like if you were in Victoria, then it was incredibly strict for really long periods of time. In Queensland, we tended to have like these really kind of like short bursts of lockdown, where we'd get like inkling that there was some COVID around, and then they would just be like, all right, for the next like 4 days, no one leave your house. And then for the most part, that would be enough to kind of keep it under control and would be good for the next like little while until there was, COVID on the border again. We'd go back into like a mini lockdown again.
That's wild. That's interesting. I never had to do that. At the start of COVID, I worked at a hospital, so I was always going to work. Yeah, it fucking sucked. Not because of the COVID stuff necessarily. It was people coming into because I worked security, so people would come into the hospital flipping their fucking shit, being like, my daughter's got a fucking nosebleed and I need to go to the emergency room, but I don't want to get fucking COVID. And I heard on Facebook that there's over 700 patients here with COVID. And I'm like, we don't even have 700 patients in this whole hospital, you fucking moron. That kind of stuff. It was really frustrating. The misinformation right out of the gate was just the most infuriating thing of all time. But
Good to know they banned Facebook here, right? I mean, no, but like, there's a grain of truth in that, okay?
right, it's good in that you don't get the boomer memes anymore. The boomer memes are also very frustrating. Where
We have Twitter for memes anyway.
The boomer memes specifically because they think they're so clever. It's like, oh my
Clever and
god.
also funny. Well, I mean, some of them are funny. Most of them just aren't, and like pretending that they are funny. And I mean, probably some boomers can appreciate that type of thing. Boomer meme made for boomers, after all. That's how it works, right?
It's the okay, for instance, the boomer meme that really, really triggered the shit out of me recently was the one that said, what's the fuck that it said? It says, I think it said, 10,000 Russians in Ukraine is called an invasion, but 2 million Mexicans in America is not. And it was like, I wonder why that is, thinking emoji, thinking emoji, thinking emoji. And I just wanted to shit in my own pants and do cartwheels around people. Like, I was so pissed off. I was like, that's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But those kind of like boomer memes that think they're clever.
Oh, that's not even funny.
I know. That's what I mean. But they think they sound so intelligent. They're so clever that they've thought of this like super clever thing to say. And then all they do is they put this stupid text, whatever stupid ass thought they've had, and they put it next to a picture of a minion, and suddenly I don't know. It fucking sucks. I hate boomer memes from Facebook.
I feel blessed for like deleting my Facebook account several years ago and not like going back to that like ever again.
Yes.
So the only
yeah.
the only way I can experience Facebook and just scrolling Twitter when like Seventh Element they usually post like stuff that Facebook suggests them to buy, like weird stuff. So they just repost stuff from Facebook from time to time, and like, excuse me, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Or something similar to that. So yeah.
Right.
That's the only way I experience Facebook, and I'm glad I don't have to experience that ever again in person.
Oh, that's funny. It's true though. Alrighty. So this is the last song of the album. I'm excited. This one's featuring Scoonie. I wonder if Scoonie's still in chat. Chat's been dead for a bit. Anyway.
Yeah, he is. I think he is.
Well, he's got the time zone, so like he'd be fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's also Australian as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So this one is called Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride featuring Scoonie. Let's check it out. Let's do it.
Lately I've been going wherever the wind blows, but it's not like I have a say. And I've been watching the world turn slowly under my nose as I drift off further away, while flowers any which way, wheat and corn in neat rows, a fringe of beaches along the sea. And I've been watching horses gallop over meadows, but they're not looking out for me. They're not looking out for me. Come on, earth, pony balloon escape pack ride. I'm just an earth pony alone here in the sky, watching the world pass by.
That was super good. Super good. Especially the little flourish at the end there was just very good. Unbelievable.
I think I begin to dig this version more than the Punch Down version now.
Wait.
well, I mean,
I
I think
have
this
heard
version
this
is
song
better.
before. It sounded super
No, I mean-
familiar.
No, I mean, we checked this particular version on stream earlier.
Okay.
Not the Punch Down version. I'm talking about the Punch Down
Oh, okay.
release version. It is different, and it is without Scoonie in the first place. It has slightly different chords because, like, in this particular album, did you use like any like usual like fifths or like power chords or whatever, or did you go like all the way with the additional ninth and like other like augmented chords and stuff? Because like I'm not really sure if I've ever heard any like power chords or like fifths or anything without any additional notes in the chords here. Just like I feel like all the chords he played here throughout the whole album are just augmented and like
Yeah,
additional.
I mean, most of them are. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I tend to be doing is every now and then, like for emphasis, I will kind of go back to straight power chords. So like the post-chorus of Oats 2, I go from like using these kind of minor 7 type chords to straight power chords for that post-chorus to kind of give a bit of to me it feels like a little bit heavier, and it gives it a bit of contrast between the sections. So I am using straight power chords sometimes, but it's yeah, for flavor, I guess, which I think is fun. It's a bit funny that it's kind of ended up that way, where I'm using the regular chords for flavor rather than the other way around. But
Yeah, yeah. I want to say that like it's usually the other way around for your music. But, like here it's the other way around. Yeah.
yeah,
Like switching the vibe from I don't know, mostly energetic and rarely soft to mostly soft and rarely energetic. Probably worded, but you probably get the idea. So yeah.
yeah, and that's a big part of what I changed about this particular song is that I hadn't quite like I was going for like a certain sound, but I hadn't quite worked it out yet when I first did this song. So then as I was working on the album and I started actually getting a better understanding of how to create the sound I was looking for, I was kind of like, oh, well, now that I know how to do it, I should go back and make, Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride sound like I had originally intended it to sound, now that I know how to do that.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Cool.
That's the whole album of it. It's cool.
Kill. Okay. And also Trash Pit. I forget that Francis Vace is a games developer. If I don't know if you call that games developing, publishing, whatever. Boy make games. He make games. So there's this Trash Pit, which I guess is it reminds me a little bit of I think you said Pink Marmalade.
Yeah, so this is like I started out trying to do just like I was just gonna like just do a Steam version of Pink Marmalade just so I could put it up on the store and have it available on Steam. But kind of like as I was working on it, like it just getting like just I was like, oh, I'll just change this little thing and I'll just change this little thing over here. And like by the time like this has been going on pretty much since I first released Pink Marmalade 2. I've been kind of like working towards this, and it's just changed so much that it's like it's somewhere in this nebulous space, like between a port, a sequel, and like a visual update. Like it's I don't really know which of those. It's somewhere in between all of those.
I got you. Cool. That's cool as fuck. I have this is so beyond my understanding. All of this stuff. So I'll take your word for everything. If you say you have to like, pee on a computer chip in exactly the right way in order to produce a sprite that behaves in this fashion, I would just believe you because I have no idea about any of this stuff. But anyway, we're listening to music, so let's go back to.
Yep.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we really do.
Right. Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride. Let's continue.
A bridge has crumbled away, a tree's fallen in its place. Not that it matters up here. I've left behind my old life and live now at a new pace. Up in skies, sunny and clear. Sunny and clear. I'm on an balloon escape pack ride.
I'm impressed with the composition there on the vocals, especially because Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride is such a mouthful, but I just like how it's just very good. It's composed very well, how that works. Good.
I had no choice. That's
I'm
what they
sorry.
called it.
I'm sorry.
No, just the show,
They
I
literally
guess the movie
called
called it that, and I had no choice. I just had to make it work.
The Earth Pony Balloon Escape Pack Ride. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice outro. Just really solid fucking chorus. Really great composition on the vocals with this, horrendously Earth Pony fucking this nonsense right here. Just worked out really well. I wonder what has changed. I can't help but think while I've been away, surely nothing big. I think this part right here, the melody, especially in the distorted guitars or overdriven guitars, or however you want to describe it, works really, really cool. I like how it would follow this kind of roller coaster, but then also step down. It's just had a really cool melody to it that it was a whole vibe, a whole mood, as it were. And it was very good.
One of the interesting things about this is that it's got some really low parts in it, and just because it doesn't have the same aesthetic as you normally have when you're going down to those low C's and stuff like that, you don't really notice that it's happening. Mm-hmm. I think.
No, I did notice the range. It's. I meant to comment on that about how when you go into the lower, because obviously for the most part on the rest of the album, it seemed like most of the vocals were up higher, delivered sort of aggressively, maybe with a little bit of fray, and that kind of thing. Maybe dips every once in a while, but not for an extended period of time like we saw in the verses. And I do appreciate and I'm impressed by the amount of control that is retained despite the wide range of notes that we're covering. I'm really, really impressed. It's really good. This is super good.
Yeah. What I'm talking about, perhaps I might didn't say this quite right, but the guitars in that bridge are going down to not drop C, because it's not tuned to a drop tuning, but it's it's hitting that low C beneath the E, which I mean, I just don't think it sounds like a song that is doing that just because of the aesthetic of it all. It doesn't kind of seem like it would.
Yeah. No, I did definitely notice it seemed like a big divorce from the rest of the actually from the rest of the composition of basically the whole album. That one bridge, it had that, as I said, I described it as a step down. It felt like it was dipping, like we were dipping down and then coming back up, and I did like the way the guitars were in that part. It was super good. That was excellent. You have any notes there, Soul Strings?
Probably not. Honestly, I feel like I really didn't have enough sleep, so I'm just
no,
zombie.
Yeah, a little bit of that, because like I said, I tried to go to sleep at 11 something p.m. Then I couldn't sleep up until 1 a.m. So I woke up at 1 a.m. and I ended up going to bed. Well, not the bed, but the row of chairs. I don't have a bed here. Sorry. So I went to. It was 2 a.m. when I went to sleep. So it was.
Dang.
And I got less than 7 hours, and that's clearly not enough for me at the moment. Where I reside. So it's.
I understand. Well, that was cool.
What I can say is that, well, first of all, this is a perfect ending for the album. It sums up it all really well. It wraps it up really well, because we have the diversity throughout the tracks. We have the representations of collaboration members, the female vocalists. We have Lock Rock. We have Scoonie as well. Yeah. We've got a remix or a cover or a cover remix. We had several different types of artwork. We had a good intro. We had TCB with the sampling and everything else. So this whole album is very diverse, and it goes down smooth, if you wish. Like it sounds like just one big vibe, and although I can say that some of the tracks didn't feel like they just are much different from the rest of them. So, of course, like all songs are different, but like it gives me the impression that most of them have too many similar elements that I would probably have playing somewhere. If I was like driving and like casually just listening to it, I wouldn't say like without carefully listening to lyrics and certain elements of the songs, I wouldn't tell which song is playing right now. But like that's just me because like I'm not I don't usually listen to that type of stuff like regularly, so I'm probably having a hard time like distinguishing different songs of the same genre I'm not very familiar with. But like this still sounds like a good thing to vibe to, because like just not something to just digest the details and the diversity in the music elements and the lyrics, but more of like enjoying and being satisfied by what you're listening to. So it's like an experience and very enjoyable and pleasant thing to, pardon my wording, but pleasant thing to consume musically.
Yes.
Like I can enjoy it. It is enjoyable, listenable, and yeah, this is a huge vibe. You can just vibe to that. If you're in a certain mood, this is a perfect album to listen to. So yeah.
I liked it
Thank
a
you.
lot. I'm
probably
I'm
what I
really
would
really
say about it.
impressed. This is good. So, I guess that's it. Francis Vace, we really appreciate you coming on and talking us through the album and answering our dumb shit questions about the more technical side of things. I don't think I have any
I
more.
do have one question though. I do have a question though. Back in the day, I went with the name. I don't know how to pronounce it in English because like every time I'm trying to read it, I end up just reading it like in, Slav languages. Because like Vacislav or something like that. I originally thought you were like I don't know, either Russian or something like that, because this name is read like almost exactly the same as the Russian name Vyacheslav. So and I was like, damn, this is a Slav dude.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
I was using I did go by Vatislav, but for a little bit.
Vyacheslav.
Yeah.
Why? What's the story behind it? Because like I was very confused when I found out you were like Australian or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, damn.
I got it out of a random name generator. And it looked cool, so I used it. Yeah, so like, yeah, I mean like I'm like half Czech on my mother's side, so like I've got a lot of kind of like I've been around that kind of like Slavic language culture for a lot of like my younger life, and then I was like kind of picking a name, and I was like, I just filtered it to Czech names, and this one came up, and I was like, that looks cool. It's a cool word. I like it.
That's interesting.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like, this is cool.
Yeah,
This
so
is-
like you
this is
were
like
you were
lore.
half right, I guess.
Lore.
Just, I've just been kind of yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I sure do appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. I love doing the full album reviews and having people on there. I'm really glad. This kind of stuff always happens by accident, and then we like just stick to it. I think Div and MX was the first one where we're like, we're gonna cover this Nova Grove album, and then Div and MX just like popped into voice chat and was like, oh well, I guess we're gonna be listening to it with him, and now that's just kind of become, I guess, the thing that we're going to do, which is really welcome. I have a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah, this is great. Like I really
Fridays.
just really grateful for the opportunity to talk more about it because, like like when you have an album, like you put so much into it, and like people will kind of listen to it and hear some like, other. It'll happen on varying levels, but no one will ever like kind of know the full like story behind each song or anything like that. So like, I'm always gonna take a chance to like talk about it if I may.
Right. That's kind of the reason why
remember-
I started doing this is because one thing that I always found invaluable was like uncensored feedback, I guess you could say, like a somebody just like listening to it and giving thoughts as we went along, and whatever, without talking over the whole goddamn thing like people tend to do. The
This
now,
is a cool song. Anyway.
yes. When you're like, here, I want to show you this song, and they're like, oh, okay, and then it will literally play, and they will literally just tell you about their whole fucking day while it's playing, and you go, okay, so what did you think of the song? And they're like, oh yeah, the song, it's good, and then they just move the fuck along. Oh, I hate people. But Horse Music Herald was a very, it was like a very invaluable. Was a very invaluable part of my confidence when I was coming up. When I was like first beginning, having people write reviews was hugely beneficial to my motivation to be like, oh my God, people are actually listening. And so I figured that I would try to recreate that in a different medium. Was like, I want to check out music from all over the whole world, all different styles and stuff, and I want to give small creators a chance to like actually watch somebody really actually listen, and you can see it, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. I'm not
And then,
I'm not super
and then
involved.
I
with-
joined the stream and started curious items left and right.
yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
Francis.
No, I was just gonna say like I'm less involved with Horse Music Herald than I used to be, but I definitely think like there was a like a big like kind of gap when we started that, and it they're doing very good work, I think.
Yeah, because Equestria Daily did music reviews, kind of. I think they just kind of, but they didn't really do reviews. They did, hey, look at this song and it's kind of cool. Maybe like it or something. I don't know. And then, but I only saw those posts like every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
like
so-
compilation, like back when I think Seth was moderating the music like afterwards, when he was like compiling like music of the day, and like he made separate posts for huge stuff like new Living Tombstone song or something like that. And then
Yeah.
Alex joined the scene, and when Alex was moderating Equestria Daily like music section, it was the best time for music on Equestria Daily. Then he he left his chair, and now Mackenzie does all that, and it's a fucking mess. But like whatever. Now we do our own thing here. So
Yeah. One of the things that we
I love him though.
talked about
I love
a
him.
fair bit. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Go ahead.
Like when we were kind of like having those discussions like right around the time when like people were feeling frustrated with Equestria Daily and we were starting Horse Music Herald, like we definitely had this feeling where like there's a way that songs are getting onto Equestria Daily, but it's very like opaque and it doesn't seem to be based on like the quality of the music. And when you kind of put that foot forward, it can be like detrimental to the scene, because if people are looking at that and they think that this is kind of a representation of what is like the best music, then they might not actually go looking for more where there could be a lot better stuff kind of that's not getting posted.
Right.
So we had a lot of discussions around like trying to find a way to have it based more on the kind of quality of the music and not so much the whatever it was that was driving what was getting posted at the time.
Yeah. I do remember feeling like Horse Music Herald was a lot more involved, a lot better organized, and that they were. It seemed to be like there was an explicit appreciation of the music itself. It wasn't like, because Equestria Daily there for a little bit felt like they were only doing the music sharing thing almost out of obligation, I guess you could say. Like they didn't really give a shit. And that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
And that was why Horse Music Herald was just goat. And I liked them a lot. And that was really cool. Man, early fandom stuff. Now, having listened, because you said you used to do...
Early?
Oh, no. Not early. When I say early fandom, because I was not involved with the early fandom stuff. But
Same.
yeah, I think I got involved in around like 2014, 2015, something like that. But Francis, as somebody who's been around for a while, did you feel, because I get this impression with Brony music in general. I had been listening to Brony music for a while, but I didn't get involved with fandom stuff until like 2014, 2015. And what I felt like was in the 2011, 2012 era or whatever, there was a couple of people that really stood out that were like professionals. And these people remain professionals now. Some of them have made it big. You've got like the Black Griffin, the Living Tombstone, that kind of shit. But outside of those people, most everyone else was like amateurs, and everyone seemed to be at the same skill level. And then over the years, it's like everyone has kind of improved in quality all at the same time. Like everyone was growing up together, like all figuring their shit out and sharing tips and stuff. I'm wondering if you have the same impression.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much spot on. Maybe like they're probably potentially like the ratio might be a little bit higher of the people that would putting out really good stuff to begin with. But yeah, there definitely was like this kind of undercurrent of like people that are just like they're starting music because of Horse, and they might not have otherwise, and so they're kind of like a lot of people starting at this kind of baseline based on like this kind of I guess you could call it an event, like the start of the fandom, and so you kind of see like, yeah, everyone seemed to have started at a similar time and at a similar skill level, and like the longer they've been doing it, the more they've been growing. So it kind of leads to this point now where people have like rose tinted glasses for this early era, but like a lot of people just aren't like looking at the stuff nowadays, which is like technically like so much better.
Right.
Like,
seems like-
and I say technically, but I mean like, you know, the songwriting, the composition, the actual production as well. Like everything is much better.
Right. There was, I think the Bronies were similar. Like, as we moved into the internet age, Bronies were similar to the furry fandom in that a lot of people were getting involved in the furry fandom, and the furries were more focused on drawing and like and crafty type of stuff, like making suits or plushes or whatever. And it seemed to be there seemed to be a lot of the same phenomenon there as well, where you had a lot of digital artists that were all coming up at the same time. Now that was before my time. I wasn't really involved with any of that because this was like 2004, 2005 type of shit. And I was in school and I was not on the internet. But the Bronies I did watch from afar for a while, and it was super cool. A lot of people started, like, because of furries, a lot of people started drawing that probably otherwise wouldn't have. And then it seemed to be the same thing with Bronies, that a lot of people did start making music specifically for Horse. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. But I do think that it's fun. Yeah, I do think it's fun that whenever you had the Horse music or whatever back in like 2011, 2012, you had a couple of people that stood out. But for the most part, Brony music as a whole was almost its whole own genre. Like it almost all had the same flavor to it. And so while everything is more technically proficient, I can understand the rose-tinted glasses in that bronies have become a lot more diverse, and there's not a whole... brony music doesn't all feel kind of the same, because I feel like it was a lot tighter back in like 2012, 2011, where all of... especially metal, oh my god, brony metal in 2011, 2012 was like literally all the same shit. It's going to be a 5-minute long instrumental, and it's going to be a super crunchy guitar tone over some really shitty drum samples, and it's just going to be like a picture of a pony character like crying or something as the thumbnail. And it was like that exact scenario has been recreated about 40 trillion times by the time about 2013 rolled around, and it was so good.
All right. I'm perhaps not as into that era as it sounds like you are. I'll take the stuff we're doing these days over it any day.
Yeah, it's good now. It's definitely
like-
better now. Go ahead, Soul Strings.
It's been like a little bit more than a year now. Like Stallions Laughter, he started those streams in February of 2021, so like last year. We've checked a lot of like really old stuff from 2011, 2012, 2013, etc. Especially like rock. Damn it! I can't talk. Fuck. Okay. So we checked a lot of like rock and metal songs from that era, and well, he knows what he's talking about. They all sounded the same. Like not like same, but like it has the same vibe, and it has the same very similar, if not the same problems with like loudness, compression, mixing, the vocals recorded in a room like with tons of reverb on a like very like cheap microphone, how the frequencies are shelved, how the instruments are mixed, etc. Like they all have like similar problems. Like
It's
and
like
we've
everyone
talked
was
about them a
making the
lot.
same mistakes. Yeah, it was the coolest fucking thing. Everyone was making all of the same mistakes, but everyone was also improving all at the same time. So as you go through the years, these mistakes become less and less frequent. Which kind of, honestly, it kind of makes me a little bit scared that there's somebody out there that's producing like 2011, 2012 quality brony music, and they're being overlooked now since there are so many like damn near professionals. And I want those people. I want to find them. Because those are the most based.
We still get submissions about with them.
I can't imagine
Similar types.
I can't imagine what the electronic brony music scene looked like, because I only listen to like the huge ones like Alex S and the Living Tombstone and stuff like that, but I can't imagine what the electronic scene sounded like. Mostly because I'm just biased against it. Like I fucking hate electronic music so much. It can produce some cool sounds, but I'm just not into it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, like that's like where I tried to start with pony music, was in that kind of electronic side of things. I was making some really bad dubstep back in like 2012 or 13, and it was rough, man. It was so bad. But there were people doing some stuff that was pretty interesting back then.
Yeah.
I think you were making like several like semi-electronic tracks later in 2016, 2017. I don't remember the names of those tracks, but like there was like half meme, half songs or something like that with samples.
Yeah. I think that those the stuff I was experimenting with in like the mid-teens was a lot better than the stuff I was doing in the early teens. But yeah, I think I had like a few kind of like dabbles into like synthwave and a little bit of trap.
Yeah, that probably.
But yeah, it was I mean, like it's not like the same level as like, you know, my main styles, but it was definitely a lot better than what I used to make in the very early days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alrighty.
Also, what was that? What was that radio when you like the last time you released an album? Like I think it was an Old Mare in the Sea, probably. Yeah,
I think that was the last full album, yeah.
yeah. So like, uh, it was either the Brony Radio Germany or Like in These Beats, and I don't remember which one it was. That when you like, when like, folks were listening to the album, and in between the songs there was like your commentary live. Was Like in
I'm
These
trying to
Beats or
remember that.
Brony Radio Germany? Because like I don't remember that. I know that it happened at some point. I don't remember the circumstance.
Brony Radio Germany used to do that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm not sure if Francis was there like with them by that time. Maybe it was indeed like in These Beats released. Because like I was attending that party and I was listening to it like when it was released.
Here's
So
the wild
that's
thing.
why
I
I
can't remember
remember
that at all. Like,
Really?
I don't even like. I'm not saying that I don't remember which one of them it was. Like, I just don't remember that happening at all. It's something that has like left my mind apparently.
I just remember that happening because like I remember like listening to the song and then was like, oh, this is a song about this and this and this and yeah, and like okay, let's listen to it, and there goes the song. So something like that.
Like I'm getting like very mild like remembrances, but like I definitely don't have a clear memory of that happening. When was that?
Okay, got it.
2017 is when I released that, which would have been my last year at uni.
Perhaps.
Uni.
And, like I have like two ideas. It was either Like in These Beats show or Brony Radio Germany. Which one of the two? I have no idea.
Oh, I forgot. I did want to mention super quick that I don't know if Francis remembers this, but the very first drama that I got involved in when it came to Brony Twitter was a bunch of people were upset about the way that I talked about dolphin pussy.
I think I vaguely remember that.
The very first time, because L Train mentioned it, like he joked about it. He said, two of my mutuals are talking openly about bestiality or something like that. And then I jumped in there and was just like, hey, dolphin pussy is always up for grabs or some shit like that. And a bunch of people got really upset.
Why would they? That's very funny. It's a very funny thing he said.
Yeah, they were really upset because I didn't just, I don't know. I don't know why. They were like, it's gross. It's fucking gross. And I'm like, I know. And that's why it's funny. And so, but they were very upset. That was the very first drama that I got involved in that had to do with Brony Twitter, where I was catching blocks over it.
I think I've only ever been in like the center of one really bad one. And it was like someone said, don't draw my OC ever. And I was like, shut up. People can like do what they want. And they got super angry at me for that. And I like got blocked by a few people and lost a few friends over that one.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is like, but like in the long run, like I love horse drama because like it's something you can like argue and like get into it with people about, but at the end of the day, like it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
yeah,
I think that like like actual politics is so fucking bleak. But like, let's fucking argue about some horses, man. Let's do it.
I love the horse drama because like, yeah, people get really involved, and what's really great is that in the in the brony community is that everyone is so incredibly terminally online, and they are such clout chasers that they do everything publicly. So anytime drama goes down, you are a few clicks from putting together the entire story and being able to see it all for yourself. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. I love it so much. Yes,
It's
horse
like
drama
reading-
is the
it's
best.
like reading a whole book, like a whole story, but on Twitter.
Yes, exactly.
And it's always
Fucking-
drama with like dark humor, sarcasm, and drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so Marshmallow Butthole shipped fucking, Twilight Sparkle with his OC, and this made like, Gen 5, it sucks ass.com mad as fuck, and they started to invite all their friends, and that kind of shit, and then everybody gets divided into camps, and it then just blocks all around or whatever. It's the best.
Time to post this to the chat, because like it's perfect time for that. It's always the perfect time for that. I understand that this is
Satire. Yeah.
You have to reply that, otherwise how will I know if your likes of my tweets are sincere or a like of the satire underneath it? You need to post. I understand that this is satire.
yes, exactly that. And like from the moment you posted that tweet, like yeah, that's mandatory. It still is, and like this is now like a catchphrase, like 20% cooler or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like at the time I'd made this very bad tweet that, I mean, it was a good tweet, but like it was me saying a thing that was clearly wrong as like a joke, and people started liking it, and people started like engaging with it sincerely, and I was like, hold on a second here. No, you need to stop. Like this is a joke tweet. You're not like
Yeah.
So from now on, if you like this tweet, you have to explicitly let me know that you're engaging with it on the level that that I intended.
Right. Yeah, I've been there. I have been there. There was a trend. It's kind of dying off now. It's not a thing really anymore. But what do they call that? It's the performative. No, it's the ironic misogyny. That's a thing that was a really high. It peaked over the winter, but it's been on a steady decline, and people don't really do it anymore. But ironic misogyny was a really fun thing. Stuff like, you are gay because you love men. I am gay because I hate women. We are not the same, type of shit. But yeah, there was a few times where it would be like, I hate women, like that type of shit, and people would be like, yes, fuck those bitches, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
hang on. We don't actually hate bitches here, okay? Damn, chill the fuck out. Those were good.
Yeah. It's very hard to like have a long-lasting like satirical community because of those reasons.
Right, because it will attract the unironic people. It sucks ass. So, what time is it for you right now?
It is 7:00.
Oh wow, I expected it to be later.
No, I think like the original math was a little off, because I think you had put me into a daylight savings time zone, but we don't have daylight savings, so I'm an hour earlier than I think what you thought I was.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
all right then. We are over 3 hours now, and we've had a lot of fun.
Oh.
I
For a
do-
half-hour album.
Yeah. That's typically the way we do it. I think that a typical stream will go for around 2.5 to 3 hours, and we'll cover 10 to 15 tracks. Because we'll get to talking, and we'll get to off topic and stuff like that, and that's a lot of fun. But I do appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun. We're gonna have to find somebody to do this with in the future again, and that kind of stuff. And then, and yeah, I will be definitely checking out the Trash Pit as well. Yeah, you're a very multifaceted individual, and this has been a fun trip through memory lane. If I guess is what they say, stroll through memory lane or whatever the fuck. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. I really enjoyed being on.
Okay, good, cool. All right, Soul Strings. I think we're gonna be done for the night. I say the night. It's is it even in the afternoon for you over there?
Yeah, it's 12. Yeah, it's 12 p.m. So
I gotta take my kid to school in 3 hours. So
Oh my word.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
So we will, but I do appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, we hope to keep the horse drama going. We got to listen to more music, and yeah, we're just gonna keep it on going. So we appreciate y'all joining us. This has been another slaughtering stream. This was so much fun, and we will see you all next week. Bye.